Depot
just
firing
got the
in progress.
Please
Disconnect
it and then connect it back.
The burn. Combined GSO confirmed. SKD fired 10-3105, copy.
A good view of those thruster firings. Again, those are fine-tuned maneuvers to more precisely hone in on the International Space Station.
11-7124.
The Impulse 4 burn using the Soyuz main engine has just been executed. A quick 17.6-second burst.
Moscow Station, space to ground 1. Go ahead on space to ground 1. Yes, we got the picture now. Yes, I disconnected the USB and then connected it back. Now I have the image as well. Excellent. Thank you so very much.
Once again, the view of the display inside the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft as the two cosmonauts, Sergei Ryzhikov, the Soyuz commander, and Alexei Zabritsky, along with NASA's Johnny Kim, look at the International Space Station approaching the cross-haired field of view. Impulse 4 burn now complete. Impulse 5 coming up momentarily.
Copy.
On board the station, the 7 crew members comprising the Expedition 72 crew have been up for 50 procedures and evacuation procedures. That is typical standard procedure to make sure that everybody is aware of where all of the vehicles are located and where all of the emergency flight data file books are located. The crew then will move into the back end of their day, having an opportunity to familiarize themselves in the beginning of a handover that will result in Don Pettit of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner leaving the station on Saturday, April 19th. Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky will be aboard the station until December.
Image on VECO monitor. If you don't mind, I will play with the CG mode. Yes, here you go.
Less than 8 minutes away from the Soyuz initiating its fly-around to the International Space Station. That will occur at a range of about 400 meters from the complex, a fly-around angle of almost 55 degrees. A short time before we began our broadcast, the Corps' automated rendezvous system on the Soyuz was checked out and is operating perfectly. If all goes as planned, this is basically a hands-off approach for the 3 crew members on board the Soyuz MS-27, as the Corps will act to guide in the Soyuz for its precise link-up with the Prishal module, that docking scheduled less than 30 minutes from now.
Kilometers,
1,000 meters, rate 3.4. Depot firing confirmed. Braking.
And a good view of the International Space Station now from the external camera on the Soyuz vehicle. The Soyuz 1,000 meters away, closing at a rate of about 2.6 meters per second. Six minutes away from the initiation of the fly-around. The space station and Soyuz passing off the northeast coast of South America, moving from southwest to northeast.
For duration 30 seconds, still in progress.
Минуту отработал ДПО.
Depot firing duration total 1 minute.
Скорость 2,49.
7.8 range.
The Soyuz has just executed Impulse 5, as it is called. This was about a 72-second burn. Coming up is Impulse 6, another 12-second burst of the Soyuz thrusters. Beautiful shot over the South Atlantic at an altitude of 262 statute miles.
$702.37.
702.37 on VSK. I can see the station, good visual, but not on VKO.
Работает ДПО, пароль торможения.
Depot firing, braking. Copy.
$177.50.
177. 50.
Работа ДПО не горит.
LED is not illuminated.
164, дальность 600 метров.
Range 600 meters.
The Soyuz MS-27 with Johnny Kim, Sergei Ryzhikov, and Alexei Zabritsky on board, flying in tandem with the International Space Station. Two vehicles flying at 17,000 miles an hour plus. The Soyuz poised to begin its fly-around of the station about 3 minutes from now.
Дальность 500, скорость
500 range. Rate 1.5. Copy.
готовность навигации, готовность прогноза.
Again, after docking occurs, there will be a brief period to allow the relative motion of the two vehicles to settle down amongst themselves against the docking interfaces of the two spacecraft, initiating the retraction of the forward docking probe that will set the stage for hooks on the Soyuz and the Prishal sides of the docking interface to close to form a hard mate. Leak checks will be initiated on both sides of the docking interface by the respective crews, setting the stage for hatch opening that is scheduled somewhere in the neighborhood of about 6:20 a.m. Central Time, 7:20 a.m. Eastern Time this morning.
Назначил самолет в 11:40-15.
11:40-15 start of fly-around, depot firing.
The Soyuz in the foreground, that is the Soyuz MS-26, that is the ride home on April 19th, U.S. time, for Don Pettit, Alexei Ovchinin, and Ivan Wagner. Peering over that Soyuz, a good view of the new MS-27 that is now less than 24 minutes away from arrival at the International Space Station.
I have about 46 degrees left.
Скорость 0,8.
Rate 0.8, range 150.
$320.075.
320 and 075.75.
The Soyuz arrived just a touch earlier than had been planned. The fly-around currently being executed. Once the Soyuz has precisely aligned itself with the Prishal module, there will be a quick period of station keeping to enable the flight controllers in Korolyov outside of Moscow to assess the precise alignment of the forward docking probe with Prishal. Less than 300 meters separating Soyuz from the station, closing at a rate of about 0.6 of a meter per second.
$280.58.
280 meters, 0.58.
Принято.
Copy.
Soyuz and the station approaching the west coast of Africa. Fly around almost complete. ...250 meters separating the two vehicles.
Работает ДПО.
Depot firing in progress.
Принято.
Copy.
1050, скорость 0,4.
Range rate 0.4.
Soyuz steadily decelerating, basically putting the brakes on here as it completes the fly around to the station. The automated rendezvous system is operating as expected.
Работает ДПО, дальность 200.
Depot firing 200 meters.
Пропал. Захват на первом комплекте.
We lost signal on string 1.
Контролируем дальность.
Monitoring range visually.
Круговой поиск СНЦ, первый комплект.
String 1 is scanning.
1044. Есть захват.
1044, signal locked.
15, скорость 0,3.
218, rate 0.3. Copy.
Контролируйте на НПУ-1.
Monitor on info 1.
Пока не горит.
What about причал format?
Работа ДПО, даже здесь.
Not activated, depot firing in progress.
На пеленгу.
210 range.
Напротив стыковочного взвода.
Actually, we are right across against the docking port.
1045.
Причал confirmed. 45 confirmed. Copy. Range 200.
And at a range of 200 meters, you're looking right down the barrel of the Prishal module through the crosshairs of the Soyuz external television camera.
In progress.
Flying over southern Morocco, the 7 is now in a brief period of station keeping.
Favor. You are go to turn on floodlight and ECG mode. Copy. 11:46:19. Activating ECG of VSK. Okay. Sending S17. Armed. Send. Floodlight is on. Range 194. And the rate is 0.08. We are across from the docking port. Copy. All right. Go for final approach from control panel. Copy. We are going to send in manual command from the motion display.
Flying just to the south of Casablanca, the Soyuz MS-27 is soon to begin its final approach for docking, running ahead of schedule.
11:47. 30. Send причал. And I can see approach on the display depot, firing in progress. Combined GSO.
And final approach now has been initiated. The flight control team in Korolyov happy with the alignment of that forward docking probe with the Prishal module, so Soyuz is now closing in on the final leg of a 2-orbit journey from the launch pad in Baikonur.
What about the video? Burn complete. Range 170. Rate 0.082. Copy. Final approach.
At a range of about 47 meters, the Soyuz will execute a braking thruster test and will activate its docking system.
Range 150. Rate unintelligible. One 130.67.
Just over 3 hours ago, that vehicle sat on the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, now closing in on the final leg of its rapid journey to reach the International Space Station.
But not on VKO monitor. Copy. 0.67 is rate.
Soyuz flying over the Mediterranean at this hour.
0.54 range rate.
On final approach for docking, just 90 meters separating Soyuz from the Prishal module.
0.43. And 0.35.
0.3 of a meter per second is the closure rate.
70 meters. Point unintelligible. Confirm visual. Combined gas cell. Target is about half cell to the right and down.
Back to this view of the Prashal module's docking port. Almost in the crosshairs of this view from the Soyuz external television camera, less than 60 meters separating Soyuz from its port,
27.
Closing at a rate of 0.2 of a meter per second.
Дальность скорость 0,15.
50 range, 0.15 range rate, copy.
Есть информация о готовности СП.
We have readiness data.
Дмитрий 7.
The upper section of the Soyuz, where the docking probe is located, is the orbital module. The center section, where the 3 crew members are strapped in, is the descent module. And the white section, at the rear of the Soyuz, if you will, along with the solar arrays, is the instrumentation and propulsion module.
Range rate.
"36 meters now, the distance between Soyuz and the station. Everything is performing as planned, closing at a rate of just over 1/10 of a meter per second.
Station is half cell to the right. Crosshairs aligned. Copy. Confirm the range. Rate 0.11, range 0.25. Unintelligible. Copy.
Есть база R. Есть база R. Дальность 20, скорость.
Base confirmed. Range 0.023. Target is practically in the center. Docking port is clean. Proceeding, copy. seems a bit closer. Rate 0.12. Half cell above. So that's pretty big discrepancy.
Soyuz now just 17 meters away. The proper closure rate of 1/10 of a meter per second in play.
Unintelligible. Rate 0.12. There is a slight discrepancy.
3-4.
Copy.
This Soyuz will park itself at the Prashal module next door to it, the Soyuz MS-26 at the Rosviet module, where the vehicle is located that will bring home Don Pettit, Alexei Ovchinin, and Ivan Wagner on April 19th U.S. time.
Small delta.
Standing by for contact and capture.
Метр.
1 meter. Rate 0.1.
We have contact. We have capture at 3:57 a.m. Central Time, 4:57 a.m. Eastern Time,
2.
as the International Space Station and Soyuz MS-27 flew 262 miles over Western Russia.
Congratulations, Sergei. Congratulations on your arrival to the International Space Station. Thank you, Alexei.
Повторите.
Please repeat.
Вернем. Да, давай меньше сделаем.
We'll now stand by for the relative motion of the two vehicles to settle down, initiating the retraction of the docking probe.
Display.
A flawless flight from launch pad to docking for Soyuz MS-27.
In work.
Johnny Kim, Sergei Ryzhikov, and Alexei Zabritsky have arrived at their home for the next several months. They will be on board the station until December.
Check-in parameters. Section 1. Thanks, 109. Yes, everything is connected. For R7 command. R7 input.
The flight from launch until docking was as smooth as glass for Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky.
Soyuz light deactivated. No, this is not correct. Now, S18, this is that command for the Soyuz light.
The trip for the three crew members took 3 hours and 10 minutes, with the launch occurring at 12:47 a.m. Central Time, 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, docking occurring at 3:57 a.m. Central, 4:57 a.m. Eastern, over Western Russia.
Chicago start.
Depot
I just got the
firing in
recommendation
progress.
that these
Complete.
Disconnected and then connected back.
The burn. Combined GSO confirmed. SKD. Fire 10-3105. Copy.
A good view of those thruster firings. Again, those are fine-tuned maneuvers to more precisely hone in on the International Space Station.
11-7124.
The Impulse 4 burn using the Soyuz main engine has just been executed. A quick 17.6-second burst.
Moscow Station, Space to Ground 1. Go ahead on Space to Ground 1. Yes, we got the picture now. Yes, I disconnected the USB and then connected it back. Now I have the image as well. Excellent. Thank you so very much.
Once again, the view of the display inside the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft as the two cosmonauts, Sergei Ryzhikov, the Soyuz commander, and Alexei Zabritsky, along with NASA's Johnny Kim, look at the International Space Station approaching the cross-haired field of view. Impulse 4 burn now complete. Impulse 5 coming up momentarily.
Copy.
On board the station, the 7 crew members comprising the Expedition 72 crew have been up for 50 procedures and evacuation procedures. That is typical standard procedure to make sure that everybody is aware of where all of the vehicles are located and where all of the emergency flight data file books are located. The crew then will move into the back end of their day, having an opportunity to familiarize themselves in the beginning of a handover that will result in Don Pettit of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Va.
We have indication for hooks closed at 12:03:40. Do we turn off the video? Not yet, Favor.
Вас понял.
Copy.
Ступенчато открываем РПВ-1.
Favor, now open O2 manual isolation valve.
Вас понял.
Step by
Открываем РПВ-1.
Sergei Ryzhikov, the Soyuz commander, running through post-docking procedures to safe the vehicle. It was a flawless docking at 3:57 a.m. Central Time, 4:57 a.m. Eastern Time.
Режим продувка 30 секунд, правильно поняли?
30-second purge, correct?
Верно, на 30 секунд СПРД, режим продувки.
Принято.
Latches retracted. Cabin O2 valve.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, поехали.
3, 2, 1.
Давление 779 пока.
Pressure in SR 739.
Штангер втянута.
Probe retracted. Moscow Station, Space to Ground 1. Go ahead on Space to Ground 1. 5 seconds.
Одна. Закрываем.
I'm doing the closeout ops and
transfer hatch to close.
Depths 10, 11, and 12.
Repress.
Please go ahead and do the closeout off.
Pressure 790.
Copy.
Поворот, закрывайте РПВ-1.
Ready to close. O2 manual isolation valve. Yes, you have a go. Closing.
This is Mission Control Houston. We now have confirmation of the closing of the Prishal node module hooks. So we have a hard mate now between the Soyuz MS-27 and the International Space Station. This will initiate a couple of hours of leak checks, the pressurization of the vestibule, the small passageway between the Soyuz and Prishal that will lead to the hatch opening and the arrival on board the station for NASA's Johnny Kim and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergei Ryzhikov and Alexei Zubritsky. So rendezvous and docking went by the book, no issues at all with the Soyuz spacecraft. Docking occurring at 3:57 a.m. Central Time, 4:57 a.m. Eastern Time, as the two spacecraft, the station and Soyuz, flew 260